The essence of a comedy is in the timing, and in the case of a practical joke, this is all the more pertinent. Unless the victims of a practical joke are in the know pretty soon after the event, then it moves fairly swiftly from comedy to something more akin to ridicule. And that, in essence, is why the journal finds this week's events surrounding Matt Fidesz and the alleged appearance of Michael Jackson in Barnstaple so distasteful. The whole sorry sordid affair has, unfortunately, held this area up to ridicule in the eyes of far too many people. We can take a joke like anyone else, but this was simply a joke too far. Mr. Fidesz has shown an admirable ability to dupe many in his community and beyond, including the national media, as well as ensuring publicity for his business along the way. And the journal can find the room to smile at some of the antics which have taken place this week. But when young children are reduced to tears upon learning that they have not, after all, met an international superstar and have been merely conned into believing so, then that is not funny at all. What worsens the issue is Mr. Fidesz's evasive attitude. He probably realised pretty soon after the event that he had made a mistake and overstepped the mark. In the case that he had come forward with an explanation, which might have made the joke still funny, and a small apology to anyone who felt aggrieved, then all might have been well. Instead, it has taken 3 days of debate and deliberation before we finally get to the truth. Whoever coined the phrase, "there's no such thing as bad publicity," was wrong, as this week's events confirm. We sincerely hope a somewhat painful lesson has been learned by all those who sought to gain some sort of twisted benefit out of this rather unseemly deception.
Well, the whole thing way the thing developed was basically through a guy called Matt Fidesz. Now, you might have come across him by now. Matt Fidesz is a martial arts guy, and the chances are that gig was, he runs classes all the way through the year, all the way through the weeks and months and what have you. And they have the annual awards, and he promised a bit of a treat. And the treat was probably the Michael Jackson lookalike.
A notice had been pinned up inside the Matt Fidesz Black Belt Academy, asking members to guess who the show's special celebrity guest would be from a list of 10 star names, including spoonbender Uri Geller and Michael Jackson, both of whom Fidesz had met.
I work at the hospital, and I drove past the academy on my way home. I've seen Matt practicing his dance moves quite late. He did his act for last year's show. He was a very good impersonator and did the dancing.
Our car met the celebrity in a dark car park. The car park was surrounded by security people. There were 2 Range Rovers with gorilla-type people dressed in black.
At first, it was just a rumour and we thought no more about it. But at 2:30 p.m. it was confirmed when the dancers arrived. They took over the building and went through their dance routines, which were phenomenal. It was not an amateur setup. When he arrived, he took over one side of the building, including 3, half the theatre's dressing rooms. There was an incredible buzz in the building.
It was a very good impersonator. He wasn't introduced. I'm sure Matt Fidesz didn't want to lie and say it was Michael Jackson in front of the Queen's Theatre.
It really was him. I was about an arm's length away and he brushed right past me. He did it as a favour to Matt Fidesz. When he came on stage, we thought it was an act. People thought it wasn't him. But when he started dancing, we knew it was him.
He was taller and bigger than I imagined, but you can't mistake that nose.
Until I saw photos of the real Michael Jackson, I was pretty convinced. Who knows? I can't make my mind up.
On Sunday, as the event went on, I had no doubts. But now I'm looking at it and thinking, whoa, Matt, what's going on here? Tell me the score. If it wasn't him, it was an incredible scam and I would have to applaud it.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't him. It definitely was Michael Jackson. He looked like Michael Jackson. He had black makeup on his face with 2 brown stripes inside of his nose. In between the stripes, it was skin-coloured, and he had scars across it like scars of stitches.
I was at the stage trying to catch him coming off. I asked him to sign a CD, and when he was finished, he went back to the dressing room. Obviously, I don't know for sure if it was him, but I'm pretty convinced that it was because so much fuss was put into it. I watched all of his set. The dancing was exactly as you see on television. He put on such an amazing show. But then, when I got home and looked at my copy of Bad, I realised Michael was misspelled. I don't know what to think.
I am 150% convinced it was Jackson. Matt Fidesz would be the biggest hypocrite in North Devon if it wasn't him.
October the 21st, 1999. Matt and his staff have no reason to doubt the identity of his special guest. October the 22nd, 1999. At no time prior to or during the show did Matt Fidesz or any of his staff confirm the guest was definitely Michael Jackson. But nor does anyone have any reason to doubt who they actually saw last night, including the Queen's Theatre staff and the sellout crowd. October the 24th, 1999. Matt and his staff have no reason to doubt the identity of his special guest, but due to a confidentiality agreement entered into, no further statements can be made in this regard. October the 28th, 1999. We're not going to say who it was. It's never going to be said. We can't say anything yet, but something will be said shortly, either in the near future or whenever, as to exactly what happened that night. You must understand, there's never been any mention of Michael Jackson for a reason. The whole thing has been for a reason, a good reason as well, which we will tell. June the 5th, 2016. Jackson gig in Barnstaple. No such event took place.
Now, the thing is, I've talked in detail to my colleague Nick Constable, who I've been working with over the past 27 years, as I needed to sort out what happened. Two parallel stories, because Michael Jackson actually came to Exeter around that time, and I photographed him at Exeter City Football Club a few years ago. Yeah, I did all that. For the mail? So we need to clarify in our heads, because 1999 was a long time ago, and when you've been taking photographs for as long as I have been, you have a little bit of difficulty remembering. But if I saw my picture in the paper, I'd know straight away.
There are two things that happened. One, that there were rumours that Michael Jackson and his brothers were coming to live in Appledore. And this kind of swirled around and nothing ever became of it. That was one story. Matt Fidesz was a personal friend of Michael Jackson, and he was running the Academy of Martial Arts. And people knew the fact that he was friendly with him. You've got a couple of different things going on.
The problem is that everything you've said to me, I remember, but I do not remember being at a concert or awards night in North Devon.
June 2002, something so special happened that took my breath away. There, I met Michael Jackson for the first time. Besides seeing him face to face, staring at his amazing, beautiful eyes, and experiencing the most awesome presence, he also said those three life's most important words to me. I love you. I couldn't believe my luck how this meeting happened. It was all thanks to my lover boy, Mark Swain. Wow, I can't even describe with words how much that meeting meant to me. All my life I wished for a meeting with Michael, and I always believed it will happen one day, and it truly did. It is my devotion, dedication and determination that made my meeting possible. June 2002 was the greatest time of my life, as I met Michael Jackson twice in London and twice in Exeter. We went to Exeter with the train together with Michael, Uri Geller and 199 other MJ fans. That experience will always stay deep in my heart.
Why Exeter? My son Daniel had a dream about the first witches hung together in England and said he felt a powerful spiritual draw towards them. Strangely, we'd always followed Exeter. His bedroom remains a shrine to the team. On the way to a match, we stopped close to the cathedral and discovered the spot where it happened. It occurred to me that in a past life, Daniel lived in Exeter. This explained his drive and passion for the club. That interest exploded last week when John Russell and Mike Lewis, who'd just taken over from the club, came to see me and suggested we join the board. I want to use my name worldwide to put Exeter on the map and convince the fans to buy season tickets, because we are going places. It's been suggested we change the name of the ground to the Geller Stadium, or switch our purple away shirts to a more assertive orange. But I don't want to disturb history, and I've made it clear to manager John Cornforth there will be no paranormal activity. So don't ask me to bend the ball into the net or interfere with our opponent's thoughts. Most of all though, I hope to open the door to bigger finance at Exeter. My friend Michael Jackson will probably say, "Where's Exeter?" But so did I at first. I might ask him to perform there. This is an exciting new phase in my life. The board are very serious about getting out of Division 3, and I will do everything I can to help.
New owners have come to Exeter City. We don't know much about them. They aren't locals. They've been involved with different clubs before with fairly dodgy records, so there is quite a lot of suspicion about them. And now Geller gets involved as well. I suppose as a football fan you're always desperate that the people who get involved with your club will help it to progress. So I'm split. The logical side of my brain is saying, watch these guys, this doesn't feel right, this is going to end in tears. And the other bit of the brain, the supporter bit of the brain, is saying, oh, I hope this helps to bring some money in. I hope they help us to get a higher profile. I hope this helps us succeed on the pitch.
I would like to bring joy to the supporters of the club, and for the sick kids that Michael would meet, they would not ever forget that day. But he is a huge, huge star. It's very difficult to book a person of this nature. There are no promises, but I'm doing my best. There are no guarantees.
Michael is humble and does not have the huge ego you would expect from somebody so famous. He's very shy, nice and genuine. He's very interested in martial arts and is fascinated by the late Bruce Lee. He always jokes to me that martial arts is similar to dancing, so I should be a good dancer. But I've told him before, I can't dance to save my life. To address the rumours about the Barnstaple concert, I booked an event with dancers, and the press assumed Michael would be there because they know he's a friend.
I first liked Michael Jackson's music ages ago when my dad was playing it. I've got a lot of his albums, and my friend gave me Michael Jackson's Moonwalk video with all the number ones like Thriller. I like to play it when I'm ill. It'd be pretty cool if he visited Exeter. If he does come here, I'd have to wake myself up because I think I was dreaming. We are such a small place and he is such a famous star.
Michael's asked for plenty of flowers. He wants to see them everywhere. He also wants everyone to be cheerful and enthusiastic so there's a fun atmosphere. But he's not asked for anything over the top. He realises we've got to keep costs down for charity. He's being realistic about it.
It's hard to believe that Michael Jackson and David Blaine are here at Exeter City Football Club. When I called Michael and said to him, would you like to come to Exeter City Football Club? He said, are there going to be children from hospitals there? And I said yes. His first words were, see it as done.
Fans stormed the train when Michael arrived. It was unbelievable. It was pure adulation. It was a phenomenon. I thought it was really interesting to see this man who is so worshipped and adored. When he turned up in his limousine, it was like a fever among his fans.
It wasn't a sellout at all. No, not by a long way. There are only two sides of the ground open. I doubt there were even 2,000 people there. About that kind of number. Maybe not even that many. There were more Michael Jackson fans than Exeter City fans. I remember thinking how few people I recognised. It felt massively surreal. The whole thing was quite bizarre, really. From formulation to delivery, it was a very, very strange event. You have to remember the context of him coming was that Uri Geller got involved with the football club and was purported to be a friend of Michael Jackson. So it did have a ring of truth about it. I don't think it was some sort of scam.
We've always been Exeter City fans, but we couldn't believe the latest. First the Queen visits, now this. I almost thought Michael Jackson would have Elvis in his backing band for the day.
He was so far away. There were so many heavyweight security guards around him. There were so many people that make themselves look like celebrities. Without being close up, I wouldn't like to say. I'm dubious. I wouldn't like to say it was Michael Jackson, and I wouldn't like to say it wasn't. I'm split 50-50.
I went backstage and then me and my mum sat in our seats. We thought we wouldn't get to meet Michael Jackson. Then all of a sudden, this lady took me to a room. He was there. I started to cry because I was so amazed. I was so shocked I was shaking. I told him about copying his Thriller dance at the Northcote Theatre, and he said wow and was asking about my dancing. And Yuri was a lovely man. He told me to use my mind and to believe in getting better. Michael even gave me a hug when we had our photo taken. My friends couldn't believe it when I told them.
It felt very strange, to say the least. He reminded me a bit of one of these American preachers. You know, all hold hands and everything in the world will be alright. I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of weirdos at that time around here anyway. You know Uri Geller? His son who had a dream that he was supporting Exeter? He was a right flaming weirdo. Then you had the Green Cross Code man. You know, the dark faded bloke? It was like a flipping pantomime.
It was great, just fantastic. Even Michael was thrilled. He fell in love with the people of Exeter. He even put on the Exeter City football shirt when he got back to the hotel. He came out of the bedroom wearing it. He fell in love with the club, and he has been made an honorary director. It means he supports the club. The visit was a massive success. He has put Exeter City on a great footing on the world map.
Certainly a historic moment, now part of the history of the club, a part of the narrative of that period when the club just went into meltdown, and the day sort of typify the strangeness of that period, the circus years. In effect, the club was invaded by criminals. One of the directors got 15 months for fraudulently representing himself to shareholders. I think, if anything, Geller blew the whistle on these guys. He faded from the scene, and then the supporters took over the club. So, it was a good thing. There was a real good that came out of it. At the time, we were the first and only club to be owned by the fans. But the word circus is often used for that period. It's interesting, because in James Park, when you go back into the 19th century, was used for circuses, with elephants and lions and things like this. The Michael Jackson Day was part of the 21st century circus.
Exeter. And to the great supporters of the Exeter City Football Club, welcome to the all great fans that have come from near and far, and to all you children. I'm very happy to be here with you today. Today we come here to support children. We come here to support children with AIDS. We share our love for the children to help the youngest of those affected by HIV and AIDS. We will help them to build a good future, all of us working together for them. A future without prejudice for these children and their families. We're here to support and to help the people of Africa to find a solution in the fight against the spread of HIV/AIDS and malaria. Through education and awareness, we aim at prevention, but we help with cure. We are here to support you, the supporters and players of this great football club. Sadly, we live in a state of fear. Every day we hear of war on the news, on the radio, and television. In the newspapers, always of war. We hear of nations hurting each other, of neighbors hurting each other, of families hurting each other, and of children killing each other. We must learn to live and love each other before it's too late. We have to stop. We have to stop the prejudice. We have to stop the hating. We have to stop living in fear of our own neighbors. I would like all of you now to take the hand of the person to the left and to the right of you. Go ahead, right now, I mean it. Don't be shy, do it. It starts now. To the person next to you, to the left and the right, I mean it, right now. Go ahead, don't be shy, do it. Do it. Now tell the person next to you that you care for them.
Speaking to the people of Exeter.
This is what makes the difference. Together, we can make a change in the world. Together we can help to stop racism. Together we can help to stop prejudice. We can help the world live without fear. It is our only hope. And without hope, we are lost.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Exeter. I'm very proud and happy to be here. Thank you, Exeter Football Club. Thanks to all the wonderful fans. I see Israel, I see Spain, I see countries all over the world. I love you. Thank you to all my team, and a special thanks to David Blaine, world's greatest, to Patty Blay, and to the great Yuri Geller, and Matt Fidesz, the man. We thank them and all the other performers. Please join me in giving them a great cheer, please.